Hey walkers, today I am going to be walking you through how to get set on the Time to Pet app. So first and foremost, you're going to want to make sure that you have activated your account. You will have received an email from Time to Pet to activate your account, which is how you're going to go ahead and set up your password. So once you have set up the password, you're going to want to go to either the Play Store or the App Store if you're on Android or iPhone, and you're going to want to download the Time to Pet app. As you can see, I'm sitting here on the login screen for the Time to Pet app. Once you have it downloaded, you're going to go ahead and log in with the information you created. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. With the information I created. I'm going to go ahead and select log in. And it will take you to your home screen. As you can see on your home screen, it's going to tell you in the upper corner schedule. It's going to have a little hamburger icon as well. That's what takes you to the main menu. It's also going to list out your services for the day on that schedule. And then at the bottom, it's going to say schedule, clients, time/mileage, and settings. So time and mileage, and then in the main menu, the pay option are features we do not use because we're not paying you through Time to Pet. We are paying you through ADP still, so you can ignore both of those sections. First and foremost, what we want to do is we want to make sure we're setting up our settings correctly. So you're going to go ahead and select settings in the bottom right corner, and it's going to take you to the settings screen. For the settings screen, you'll see you have 4 toggle options: show completed events, use low accuracy GPS, confirm before sending message, in-camera app images save to gallery. So for show completed events, that is entirely up to you if you want to have that toggled on or off. All that does is if you toggle it on, it will continue to show any services you finished on your schedule for the day. I personally recommend leaving it as toggled off so it'll clear out any services you have already completed for the day. The next one is use low accuracy GPS. This one we do require you to leave toggled off. We are always going to be using high accuracy GPS on Time to Pet, so that should always remain toggled off. The next one is confirm before sending message. This one needs to be toggled on at all times. That is to confirm that you wish to send your feedback report notes to the client before they actually send. So we definitely want to leave that toggled on to make sure there aren't any typos or anything before you send it on its way. The last one, in-camera app images saved to gallery, is entirely up to you again. We do require you still just take photos through your standard app or camera app, just like you would on PSP. So we recommend you just leave that toggled off. It's not necessary. It'll end up just taking up more room on your phone's hard drive. It'll then list out your information, so it'll have your name, your email address, your time zone, your app version, an option to send device reports. So if you're ever having issue with the app, you can send a report. It'll go to us and Time to Pet so we can quickly resolve that issue for you and figure out what's going on. And it'll also allow you to run a network test to make sure if you're having signal issues, what's going on with that. Next, you're going to select notifications in the upper corner, and it's going to take you to the notifications screen. So for notifications, you'll see there are a lot of options. The ones that we require you to have toggled on are pretty simple. It's going to be the first 3, my availability is approved, my availability is rejected, admin sends me message, and the last 3, which are client sent message by team, client send message, and I am late to event. All other toggles can honestly just be toggled off, and I highly recommend you do so you're not bombarded with notifications as we get the system set up or as clients add or remove information. Once you have done this, you're going to go ahead and go back to your home screen. To do that, you're going to hit schedule, and then we're going to go into the main menu, and we're going to go ahead and select agenda. This is how you're able to view your schedule in advance. You'll see it lists out your week of services. You can hit the previous or the next, scroll through your weeks. As you're scrolling, you'll see a today option appears in the upper right corner of your screen. This is what will bring you back to the current date and current week every time. You'll also see that what information it gives you about a service is it tells you what time frame it is for, what type of service it is for, and what animals that service applies to. Next up, we're going to be going over how you send messages. So this is a really cool feature. So going forward, what you will be able to do is send messages to the office staff through the app itself. So the only thing you should be using the Walker hotline for is for emergency calls at this point. Everything else can now be communicated through the app itself. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit new message, and you'll see it gives you an option to type out a message. So I'm going to say, I would like to pick up keys for Nymeria around 11 a.m. today. I can also add photos. So if you ever need to send us a photo, you can go ahead and add photos. You can select as many photos as you need to, and you can send that all. And then you're going to go ahead and just hit send. It will then confirm that you wish to send the message, and it will send the message off to the office staff. You'll also be able to see our responses on this page as well. So you'll see I have sent a message asking that I'd like to pick up keys for Nymeria. And I have now just received a notification that there is a response. Nice and easy. So that is how sending messages works in Time to Pet. We're going to go ahead and go back to our schedule view now. So we're going to go ahead and hit the hamburger icon to get brought back to the main menu. We're going to go ahead and select home, and it's going to take us to our service. So now we're going to be going over actually doing a service in Time to Pet. So as you can see, it does list out a lot of information already here on the home screen for you regarding the service. It tells you what time frame the service is for. It tells you who the service is for, the client name. It gives you their address information, and it also gives you access instructions. So this is telling you how to get into and out of the home. So you don't have to click into fields to find this information. It will now be on your home screen. The only access information it will not give you on this home screen are alarm code information. For that, you will need to go into client details, but it will tell you everything else you need to be able to get into a home, including lockbox information. So now we're going to go ahead and select client details on that service. And it's going to take us to the client details page. On this page, you're going to find everything regarding the client and their home. So you can see we list out primary contact information here. If there is a secondary contact, that will get listed below primary contact. It will then go into address information, access instructions. If they have alarm codes, that will be listed below access instructions. And then any alternate pet entrances or exits we must take with the dog while we're walking them. It will also list out emergency contact information for you. This again is only in the event if we require that you reach out to an emergency contact. We in the office will tell you explicitly if that is the case. Otherwise, you do not need to reach out to the emergency contact. You'll also see below that it has important schedule notes and admin notes. That is for the office staff only. You can ignore those sections. Those will always be blank. We will be removing those in the future. You'll also see in the upper right corner of your screen is a little arrow icon. If you go ahead and click on that, it'll prompt you to open that up in your map program, and it will guide you to the address in question. So that is how you navigate to a client's address. Next up, you will see at the bottom of our screen, it lists out details, chat, pets, and docs. We're going to go ahead and hit pets. Pets takes us to the pet information screen. From here, we will get all the information we need to know about the pet and the service in question. You'll see at the top of the screen, it lists out all the pets for the home. By clicking that name for that pet, it will take you to their specific information. Now we're doing a dog walk service just for Nymeria, and as you can see, Viserion is a cat, so we can ignore Viserion's information for this service. We're going to see that we have a photo of Nymeria. We have the basic details of Nymeria, so the name, the date of birth, what type of animal, the breed, sex, the color, if they're neutered or spayed, some quick personality notes. So everything you need to know about the dog in question is going to be listed out here in the basic details section. It'll also tell you if they have any medical needs notes that you're going to need to be aware of. Those are a little further down. It'll then go into their visit instructions. So it will tell you what to do before you go on the walk with the dog, what to do on the walk itself, what to do post-walk, If they have any weather notes or training instructions, those will also be listed out for you. If they are a feeding, that will be listed out next. If they don't have a feeding or they don't have feeding notes, you simply won't see that section, so that's a good way to indicate for you you don't need to worry about feeding that animal. It will then go into medication notes if they have any and list those out for you, what is required. And then it will go over their supplies and equipment location, so where you find all the gear you need for the service. Pretty nice and handy. Next up, we're going to be going over how you're going to be able to message clients in Time to Pet. So you no longer have to text clients and then relay that information to us at the office. You will now simply go into the chat option. You'll see there are already several previous messages to this client. You will be able to see all correspondence that has already happened with that client with the other walkers and the office staff. So you can scroll through and see if any walkers have asked a question you need to ask as well to see if there's already a response for that. What you do to send a new message is you simply select new. You'll be able to type out your message, whatever it is. So I'm going to say, hi, WCP admin. Where can I find Nymeria's leash? And I'm going to fix that to say Nymeria. And I don't know why I did that. Nice and easy. You'll then see I can select who should see this message. The options are clients, admin, and staff, or admin and staff only. Just always leave that as clients, admin, and staff. What that means is that anytime you reach out to a client with a question, we in the office will also see that question and their response. So again, you no longer need to forward us that information afterwards. You'll then be able to also add images. So for example, if you want to let them know that there was a scratch on a dog's paw pad, you can actually take a photo and include that in your message. Once you're ready to send your message off, you're going to go ahead and select send. It'll ask you to confirm you wish to send your message, and it will send it on its way. As you can see, my response went through. I can also then see the client responses. And there I've got a notification saying that the client has responded to me. So I just go ahead and scroll down to refresh that screen, and you'll see the client has responded. And now all other walkers can also see that information as well. So they know, hey, that leash is in the cabinet by the front door. So now we're going to go over completing a service in Time to Pet. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back. So we're going to select that back arrow icon in the upper left corner, and it's going to take us back to our home screen, our schedule screen. I am now ready to start my service. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Start Timer. It's going to find my location, and it's going to start a timer. You can see it tells me my start time was 10:12 a.m., and I have time left scrolling down. You'll also see below the time left scrolling down, there is an undo start option. This means that if you do accidentally punch in for a service, you can now undo the start of that service. Please note that if you do this option, you must then message us and the clients afterwards to let us know that, hey, you had accidentally checked in, you're undoing that start. The reason why that is because clients will get notifications when you start a service. So if I were to say I accidentally started that, I'm going to select undo start, yes, cancel. I'm going to go into client details, and I'm going to send that client a message to let them know, hey, I accidentally started the service too soon. Whoopsies. Definitely don't want to send that. Apologies. I will be there in 5 minutes. Nice and easy. And then I can send it on its way. That way the client knows, hey, me starting that service, that was a mistake. I'm going to go ahead and start that timer again. And again, you'll see it is counting down. It's got my new start time set. I am off doing my walk with Nymeria. We're having a great adventure together. I've come back inside. I've done all her post-walk routine. And now I'm going to go ahead. I've walked out the door and I've locked it up. I'm going to hit stop timer. Just like before, it's going to find my location and it's going to move me to the complete visit screen. Here, I'm going to leave my message for how Nymeria did. You see, I type out a good bit. So I have put in my notes. I would then select a photo, and you can select many, many photos. Please note that there is no hard cap on the amount of photos, but please do keep it to a reasonable amount for the photos. Next, it's going to take me to filling out that information on the number of pees and poops. If I had to feed her, that I did. If I refreshed the water, which I did, and that I checked for accidents and cleaned up any if there were any. I'm going to say that Nymeria pooped 3 times, or pooped once and peed 7 times. So you'll see there is no hard cap in the number of pees and poops, so you do have to be careful about paying attention to how many times each dog pees and poops. The cool thing though is that in this system, for each animal you service on a visit, it will have its own pees and poops, feeding, water refilled, and cleanup performed section for them. So you'll see this one is for Nymeria specifically, and you'll see below that it says skip. It says skip. This is specifically for if a service was meant for 2 dogs. Maybe it was meant for Nymeria and Lulu, but Lulu ended up not being home for that service after all. I would hit skip for Lulu section, and it would clear it out instead for me. Once I'm done with my service, I've got my notes, I've got my photos, I got my pees and poops, everything is ready to send. I'm going to go ahead and hit complete. It's going to ask me to confirm that I do in fact wish to complete my event. I'm going to say yes, complete event. It's going to upload and send everything, and it's going to finalize the event out for me. I now see I have finished with my services for the day. If you wish to look and see how that service went, make sure the report looked good. What you will do is you'll select clients in the bottom screen section where it says clients. You'll go to that client, so you'll see I still just have that one client right now. I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to chat, and there is my feedback now. I can even select view report to get more detailed information. You'll see I have my check-in and check-out, my pees and poops. Everything is recorded there for me and the client to review. The last thing we need to go over is setting your availability. So we're going to go to the main menu, and we're going to go ahead and select availability. You'll see it says I do not have any availability for this month. So one thing we do require in Time to Pet is you to list out your availability for services across the week. This is also how you're going to be requesting time off. So let's go over how that works. First, we're going to be covering how to request time off. I'm going to go ahead and select add availability. You'll see it's going to ask me for the type of request and how often. There's a drop-down list with 3 options. Occurs once, multi-day, and repeats weekly. Occurs once is how you request single days off. You'll see it gives you a start time and a day to select and an end time. This is for if you say maybe you only have a doctor's appointment in the morning. So you know that from 8 a.m., I'm going to say let's say 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. I know I am not going to be free on the 9th because of the doctor's appointment. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select that I'm not free from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm going to select the day, and in additional details is where I'm going to detail out what that time request off is for. So instead of having to send us an email follow-up, you now just type it all out in the availability, and you would go ahead and select submit availability, and it will submit it successfully. If you know you're going to be out for the whole day, you would simply select 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because those are our business hours, and let us know, hey, you're not available for any services that whole day. Multi-day is how you request multiple days off. You'll see it doesn't give you time frames. It simply gives you a start date and an end date. So for multi-date, you're going to select your start date and your end date. Maybe I am going to be out for Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and select those dates I'm going to be out for. I'm going to put in my note what I need that time off for, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit submit availability. It's going to send it on its way. The last thing to go over is setting up your actual availability. So this is what you're going to be doing in Repeats Weekly. You're going to go ahead and select Repeats Weekly for how often, and it's going to take you to the Repeats Weekly page. What I have here now is I have options for selecting days, start time, end time, start date, and end date. I'm going to go ahead and say my end date is the end of next year, and my start date is the beginning of next year. Whoops. So for the full year, say my availability is Monday through Friday. I'm free 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for services. So I would select Monday through Friday. I would select 10 a.m. as my start time and 4 p.m. as my end time. This is my set availability for Monday through Friday for the year. I would then go ahead and submit it on its way for the weekdays. I would then want to add what my availability looks like for the weekends. So maybe on Sundays, I know I'm not free at all. So I'm simply not going to fill anything out for Sunday. I know on Sundays, I'm absolutely not free at all. I'm going to leave that blank. That then tells us that, hey, on Sundays, it's already blocked off. You're not free on Sundays. And maybe on Saturdays, I'm free only in the afternoon. So I'm free noon to 5 p.m. You'll see now it says no end date. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as a no end date, and that's just going to do scrolling forward for it. And then I'm going to go ahead and submit my availability. That's how you set your availability in Time to Pet. Now, please note, if your availability ever changes, do please submit it as soon as possible and give us some heads up that that is the case. So maybe it was that I said I was free Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But now on Wednesdays, I am no longer free past 2 p.m. So I would say that 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is my new availability for the new year. And then I would just put in the note that, hey, I now have a reoccurring appointment on Wednesdays at 2:30 and am no longer available past 2 p.m. and send it on its way. Nice and easy. So that's how you work and navigate in Time to Pet. Again, you can ignore the My Pay section, and you can also ignore the time and mileage section. We do not use those. Currently, we are not using the document sections either. You can see there's documents for yourself and there are documents for clients. If we do end up using these functions, we will let you know. But currently, that's how Time to Pet works. If you have any questions, please let me know. But I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I hope you have a lovely day.